Hey everyone, today's guide is one that we're really proud to have collaborated with Riot Games Latin America. If you speak Spanish, then check out the link in the description. Enjoy!
Today, we'll be seeing how KLG Fix is able to convert a matchup advantage into setting himself up to win the game within the first 3 minutes of lane phase. Most players in League of Legends rarely ever convert matchup advantages into total dominance and in many cases actually lose the lane anyway. What we'll see today is how Fix is able to control the wave and play to his strengths in such a way that he leaves his opponent without any counterplay. But first, let's break down the matchup. Draven and Zilean have the range and damage advantage, which also gives them priority on the wave. Knowing this, Draven will want to keep the wave away from Kai'Sa's tower in the early levels and gain a health advantage and snowball. To do this, he'll look to achieve the following missions. Mission 1, freeze the lane. Draven doesn't want to overpush at the start to keep Kai'Sa away from the safety of her tower. Mission 2, get a health lead. Draven would want to trade his stronger autos with Kai'Sa when she goes for last hits or is out of position. And Mission 3, build a slow push. After getting a health lead, Kai'Sa will no longer be able to step up and will start to forfeit minions. This will break Draven's freeze and he can then turn it into a slow push and look to snowball. As Fix arrives to lane, you'll notice two things. Their opponent isn't here and they didn't have to leash. This means they have the leash advantage and gives them two main options of either looking to cheese their opponent in the bush or get a jumpstart on wave control. In this case, Fix has the matchup advantage, so he opts to control the wave early to get a guaranteed lead. Let's see how he does it. So, Fix took aggro on the first wave for a couple of seconds and then dropped it by moving into the bush. This is something you may have seen other players do before, or even tried yourself, but don't fully understand how it works. Let us explain. By getting aggro of the minion wave before his wave connects in the center, he's able to cause the first 3 melees to group up. He then waits for the opposing casters to also group up to attack him. He then drops minion aggro by entering the bush, leaving both the melees and casters grouped up to fight, attacking the red wave as they move into formation to fight back. This is an excellent way to deny your opponent a minion and even get the wave pushing towards you. We can now see Fix has denied Kai'Sa the first melee as she gets into lane. As we can see, this technique has also caused the waves to meet on Kai'Sa's side of the lane, meaning that her next wave will reinforce the fight more quickly, causing it to actually push towards the Draven. This has set Draven up perfectly for mission 1, freeze the lane, as it'll now push to the center for a freeze. He exits the bush and autos a healthy melee and then just picks up last hits. But why does he hit the melee? Well, he's just thinning the wave a little so he can actually work on mission 2. He wants Kai'Sa's wave to push towards the middle, but he doesn't want to give Kai'Sa too much of a minion advantage, otherwise he wouldn't be able to trade efficiently as he'll draw too much aggro. After both lanes clear the melees, you'll notice that the caster count is even on each side. Fix then autos the casters a couple of times. Why do you think he does this? So the main thing Fix is thinking about here is level 2, which comes with the first 3 melees on the second wave. While he wants the wave to hit the center for a freeze, he doesn't want to give away level 2 and lose his pressure. He doesn't overpush, he just keeps the minions even so he doesn't lose tempo. Thresh walks up looking for a flay onto Fix, but his positioning baits Thresh into overstepping and he ends up landing a ton of damage. This looks like Thresh is inting, and he kind of is, but Fix is punishing perfectly by only going for autos when Thresh is near his own line of melees. Most players overchase supports they catch out of position, moving past their melee line and into range of the enemy casters, which ultimately leads to way less efficient trades. This subtle difference in positioning between Fix and most players leads to way bigger health leads for mission 2. While Fix was punishing the Thresh, Kai'Sa was able to get an experience lead. This isn't a huge deal because of the health lead Fix has. He looks for more harass, and then intelligently backs off as Thresh and Kai'Sa hit level 2 until he secures level 2 himself. There's two key things Fix is doing here which we want to highlight. First, he's once again evened out the minions, holding the freeze for mission 1. Second, he's positioned right behind his ranged minions, ready to punish Kai'Sa if she walks up, while staying safe from getting hooked. So it's actually at this point where Fix can start thinking about mission 3, build a slow push. Even though he has a freeze right now, he's gotten such a health lead and has the wave in such a dangerous spot for Kai'Sa that she can no longer walk up to the wave without the risk of getting all in. Therefore, Kai'Sa will actually start to give up minions now, which means that the Draven will be dealing more damage to the minion wave just by last hitting, causing his wave to start pushing towards Kai'Sa. And that's exactly what's happening, as we can see Kai'Sa is really far back. But do you see what's wrong here? Well, Draven is positioned perfectly, and Zilean is way too over-aggressive, moving past his minion line, leaving himself exposed. Let's see what happens. Alright, so Fix did a great job at salvaging Zilean's mispositioning, but before we break it down, the wave is now pushing towards Kai'Sa. Why do you think that is? Something most players don't think about when managing their waves is how minion aggro changes things. During this trade, Draven had to position far up into the enemy wave, causing all of Blue's minions to attack him. While this is happening, his red wave is still attacking the blue wave because Kai'Sa is too far back to get all the minion aggro from the red wave, causing the red wave to start pushing into the blue wave. This is totally fine and shouldn't discourage you from landing trades, but understanding how it affects the wave is vital to mastering wave control. It's also worth noting how well Fix has responded to his support getting caught out. Many AD carries would shy away from a losing fight and deal no return damage, but Fix understands that if they're focusing his support, it gives him a window to freely fire onto his opponents. If Kai'Sa Thresh turned on him instead, he'd back off. Anyway, he can start executing mission 3 by only going for last hits and not damaging the wave to build a slow push. Thresh also looks to recall during this window. Let's speed it up. Alright, so now we see Fix as a huge wave he's about to crash into the enemy tower. When crashing a wave, you want to think about a few things to stay safe and get the most value out of the crash. Questions you want to be asking yourselves are, do I need vision? Do I go for tower damage? Do I go for harass? Do I start clearing the next wave? And do I recall? The right answer will depend on the situation every time, so let's break down how Fix makes the correct decision here. If we look at the minimap, we know he doesn't need vision. He sees Sejuani top and knows where mid is as well. When we think about tower damage, usually before your first back, your tower damage would be too weak to knock down turret plates. But with this massive wave, it's a great choice to go for the first plate. Going for harass is also a good choice, because if he's able to weave in autos without taking tower damage, he could get an even bigger lead for mission 2. Although, if Thresh was here, who's an all-in support, it could be dangerous and they'd be risking getting all-in, leaving tower plating as the more reliable choice so far. Clearing the next wave under their tower definitely isn't a good choice here, because he doesn't need to reset the wave back to the middle. That'd only be worth it if he wants to either set up a recall or avoid a gank, both of which are less aggressive options and not necessary at this point. In this case, his jungler is actually here and they're able to set up a dive before Thresh can get back, scoring an easy kill, turret plate, and denying Kai'Sa a massive minion wave, closing this lane out. It's worth noting, however, that if his jungler wasn't here, then turret plating would have been the best choice. Alright, so we've learned a lot about wave management and how Fix was able to use it to abuse his matchup and leash advantage. Let's do a recap and also answer the question of what could Kai'Sa even do in this laning phase. Fix came into this matchup with the leash and matchup advantage. He grouped the minions at the start, which caused them to deal more damage to his wave before Kai'Sa even got to lane. This made the wave continuously push towards the center of the lane, where Fix was able to use his damage lead to constantly pressure last hits and punish his opponents if they stepped up. After Zilean got caught out, Fix was able to turn it around and land a massive health lead, which forced the Thresh out of lane, and then he started his own slow push, which resulted in an easy dive, costing Kai'Sa a ton of minions. So what should Kai'Sa have done differently? Well, Fix actually left Kai'Sa with no counterplay for the opening moments of the lane, because of both how well he managed the wave and because of how he didn't have to leash. What weaker bot lanes want is to pull back and let their opponents push towards them at the start, so they can farm safely under tower, and in this case look for all-ins with their engaged support and ganks if they overextend. Kai'Sa handled the lane well under the circumstances, especially since Thresh took a lot of unnecessary damage. Their next mistake was spending too much time damaging the Zilean, leaving Draven to free fire onto them. Hooking the Zilean is nice, but they're short on time to damage him without getting out-traded. They'd rather be landing hooks on the Draven to lock him down as they focus fire him. And then finally, Kai'Sa should have just backed off towards the Thresh on this dive. Thresh was only around 5 seconds away, so pulling off and losing a few minions to stay alive was the clear choice here. Alright, that about covers it. Thanks for watching, and see you all next time.